Japan, why do you insist on trying to make cute metal? Hello, and welcome again to Oldtaku New Tricks, where today we're going to be looking at an anime that, by all outward appearances, I shouldn't have liked. I make it no secret that Cute and I don't really get along together, so an anime featuring Sanrio characters, you know, the same company behind Hello Kitty for crying out loud, it just seems like it's destined to be on my shit list. But then they tried to swerve me by having said cute animal characters scream death metal songs about how much their job sucks. And it kind of works. I didn't know much coming into Aggretsuko, which was released back on April 20th, on Netflix, but I was told that it was akin to this generation's Office Space by way of Daria.
In a random sampling of 20-somethings across Japan, 75% of single women and 65% of single men had no interest in finding themselves a significant other. In other words, the majority of young people are seeing love for the crappy deal it is and telling the world no.
The longer you keep doing my work, the easier it'll become. What? Yes! With every pile of paperwork, you're growing stronger!
It's a strange witch's brew of cute animal characters, death metal, and office life pedantry, all mixed together to basically tell a coming-of-age story. Aggretsuko, a 20-something red panda, is living a middle-class nightmare where the days are seemingly endless and consist of menial drudgery, all overseen by a cartoonishly sexist boss.
Incompetent women are such a pain in the ass, but they're better than the competent ones, am I right?
Masterclass in subtlety right there. Masterclass. She survives these tests of will by exploding into her microphone, releasing all her pent-up frustrations in a deathly growl that'd make Wendy O. Williams proud.
Put some tension in your vocal cords, and...
You sound like a demon when you do that!
Of course, she does this in the privacy of her favorite karaoke room, or bathroom, but as life in the office continues, her ability to cope will be put to the test. The show itself is a fairly quick sit. There are only 10 episodes in the season, and they're only 15 minutes an episode. But it's surprising to see how much they're able to fit within such a short time frame. Every 3 or so episodes has a mini-arc that kind of directs where the overall story goes, again with only 15 minutes to work with. It's genuinely engaging if you attune yourself to the beat it's laying down. Unfortunately, where the plot ultimately goes feels like, well, a letdown. I kept thinking that each plot detail, character, revelation, etc. was going to lead to something more substantial than what it actually panned out to be. Seemingly important characters come up only to fade away before even a couple of episodes go by. Conflict that bubbles up from the surface are just quashed by the notion of letting bygones be bygones. And while I feel that is part of the coda of the show...
If I've learned anything, it's that life doesn't always go the way you expect. There are surprises, good and bad. And sometimes you fall on your face.
As it relates to the show proper, though, I couldn't help but feel like this entire season was just a pilot for the second season. And sure enough, Netflix recently announced that a new season of Aggretsuko is in the works and will premiere sometime in 2019, which I guess is a good thing. Feeling out my thoughts on the show, I can't readily explain why I have such a difficult time saying that I like Aggretsuko when I do. I feel that maybe my allergy to cute has something to do with it, but I know that I'm not so headstrong that I can't readily say when I'm going against type when I am. Likewise, my plot hangups might also have something to do with it, but I think the main culprit is the fact that I was expecting the show to be funnier than it is.
Aggretsuko, hey. I heard you can poop again. Way to go.
Why is she telling people?
Again, much like Office Space, the humor in the show isn't necessarily gut-bustingly funny, but there is a relatable laugh here and there for those who deal with the monotony and tediousness of office life. Still, the space between these laughs are too far apart for me. The juxtaposition of Aggretsuko being a cute little red panda who howls death growls into a microphone goes flat pretty fast. Thankfully, the show doesn't use it as a crutch to get a laugh halfway through the series and instead treats it like a part of her character. but they don't replace the laughs with anything meaty. Instead, the series hops from character moment to character moment, landing a few titters here and there, but nothing that holds the comedy together.
Who's this one?
That's our pal Finico.
You're such a spitfire. There's something super hot about that, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Singles parties are the best ever.
And even when the series veers away from comedy to have moments of character insight, it still feels more miss than hit. And again, it's because the season as a whole just feels like a pilot for the second season. I appreciate that the series fleshed out the piggish Mr. Tone instead of him just being a squealing misogynist all the time, but it kept reining in any kind of growth for him before too long, seemingly because it still needed some kind of antagonistic force for Retsuko. Additionally, towards the end of the show, when Retsuko finds herself a love interest, it once again doesn't lead to anything other than an affirmation of who she already was. There's a glimmer of insight into her beau, but since it's the last episode, there's no payoff. Watch the second season, guys! It's this constant transitional feeling I get whenever I think about Aggretsuko that really sours me on the whole show. But thankfully, not completely. There's a number of characters I grew to enjoy, and I wanted to actually see more from them, like Retsuko's beleaguered hyena man-friend Haida, played by the underrated Benjamin Diskin.
Hold on. You're going?
Mm-hmm.
On second thought, I'm in.
What the? You were just telling us how much you hate that stuff.
Who died made you the party police? I'm allowed to change my mind, you know?
Not for nothing, but going down Diskin's IMDb list is a trip and a half. He's played everything from numbers 1 and 2 in Codename Kids Next Door, Melvin from Sailor Moon, and even Eugene from Hey Arnold. He's like the millennial Alec Guinness. Likewise, I wanted to learn more about Retsuko's Jane to her Daria, Fenico. Her detached and monotone characterization is used brutally as a joke against her, seeing as how she is so bereft of self-awareness that while she rails against the office pixie Tsunoda for being a social media gadfly,
Tsunoda posts a thigh pic to her social media every 13 days on the dot. Exhibit A. Selfie, dessert, latte art. Selfie, dessert.
Yep, got it.
She tries to play it cool. Look at this barley tea I'm having. But we know what's up. Thigh pic.
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't realize that she's just as obsessed as those she disparages. Again, I wish there was a deeper dive into what makes her tick, but I guess I'll just have to watch the second season! Which I suppose to mean that the showrunners ultimately did their job, because I do want to watch a second season of Aggretsuko. I guess I just wanted more substantial things to happen in the first season. In the end, I have to say that despite my initial reticence and my annoyances at the Netflixness of the show's plot progression, I wound up liking Aggretsuko, almost in spite of myself. What about you all? What did you think of Aggretsuko?